I make no secret that I did not care for James Cameron's Avatar. I thought the plot was derivative. I didn't think it lived up to the hype. I thought the special effects weren't as impressive as people said. And it was a blatant ripoff of Ferngully the Last Rainforest. So, yeah, I wasn't that excited when the trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash dropped. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell to get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. Thank you so much, because YouTube is changing the algorithm where it reacts better to comments and likes. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com. The link is in the description of the video. You can subscribe there at different tiers that unlock different perks. Thank you in advance. So the trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash dropped, and James Cameron has said that this is going to be a 5-film series, but there are years in between each film. Sometimes he goes off to do another film, or he just takes a breather because these films take freaking forever to make, and that is because of the visual effects. They are expansive. Now, the trailer itself was nothing. It literally just starts off with a bunch of images from the world of Pandora, some with forestry, some with ocean, some of military people, and it looked like each scene, up until maybe the last 15 seconds, could be a backdrop or a desktop background for your computer. And I'm sorry, but that just does not intrigue me. What is the freaking plot about? Well, we got a little bit of a tease. It seems that some of the military people from the second one, and I guess possibly the first one, have met another tribe of Na'vi. That's the name of the, blue natives on Pandora. But this tribe, they're red. So remember, in the first film, it was all about forest Na'vi, and the second one, it was all about their sister tribe and water. It was called The Way of Water, in fact. Now, I did not see that one because the first one was such a letdown, even though I even saw it in theaters, that I was not impressed by it. This third one does not intrigue me, especially when we see these military people. They're meeting with the red natives, and they are all about fire. So you have the forest, so I guess that's earth. You have water, you have fire, and so I guess the next one will be wind, and they'll have the full Avatar cycle there. That's a totally different franchise that I'm talking about, though. Kids from the 90s and the 2000s, y'all get it. Anyway, I think that's very interesting how they're going about this. My question is, where were these red natives from the beginning? And I also think that it's not really impressing me, because the whole perspective is that, the natives from the first film, they worship this tree that represents their goddess. And I don't know what happens in the second one in regards to that, but the tree got, freaking destroyed, or one of them got destroyed in the first film. So I guess the fire people worship a volcano. I don't know, but it's very weird. To me, this only confirms why monotheism is the correct form of, when it comes to representation of God, particularly Christianity. And I make no secret that I'm a Christian. Anyway, I can vibe that in fantasy worlds, there's going to be different religions, even in science fiction ones. But I think that this is very interesting. So, you have one that worships a tree. I guess you have one that worships the ocean, and now you're going to have one that worships a volcano. So you have these physical representations that aren't really supernatural. They're all kind of scientific. It's very weird. It's all of this, we're going to be one with nature kind of thing. And this trailer definitely captures it, because there's even a scene in it. There's very little dialogue in the trailer. There is a little bit, but it ends where one of the fire tribe's priestesses, I guess, looks at Jake's son and says to him, "Your goddess has no dominion here." Why does she have a Russian accent? I don't know, but she does. I was like, what? Well, then that goddess isn't very powerful. And yes, I know that in some cultures there's territorial gods, whatever. My God is greater. Here's my reaction to it. It just looks like he's using this as another attempt to show off his skills at being a special effects artist. And quite frankly, he's not been that good. I remember when the first Avatar came out, in which I did see this one in theaters. And like I said, I wasn't impressed by it. And what's really funny is when I told this to a friend of mine who loved it, he was like, "Well, did you go see it in 3D?" Well, no. Why would I spend an extra $10 on a ticket when I didn't even like it the first time? Goes, well, that's why you didn't like it, because you didn't see it in 3D. Well, no, if it can't be visually represented in a traditional cinematic model, then no, it's not worth it to me to go see it again. Every Marvel film that I had seen in theaters, I'm talking about during the Infinity Saga, especially phase 1 and phase 2, when I saw them in the theaters, I thought that they were great. I thought they were phenomenal. And I was excited to watch them on DVD. Avatar, I saw it once more because I had another roommate that was like, "You didn't like it? What's wrong with you?" And he brought me the DVD that he had, and he had it on, at the time, I believe it was HD DVD. I could be wrong. It might have been Blu-ray. And he had a really nice TV and a Blu-ray player. That was a big deal back then. And I was still like, this is doing nothing for me. For one thing, Transformers had come out a year before. This is the Michael Bay Transformers. The special effects were way better. The Transformers, the Autobots, and the Decepticons looked way more realistic than anything that was going on in Pandora. And that's a fact. I mean, it's an objective fact. If you put Optimus Prime next to one of the Na'vi, Optimus Prime looks more realistic. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially for fans of this movie, but it's just a fact. And so I don't feel like the third one is going to move me either which way. I think that it's really sad that James Cameron is stuck in this loop on Pandora. Now, one of the things that people keep pointing out is that when it came out, it broke records. Well, yes, it even broke the Titanic for a time, because remember, his film, The Titanic, was the highest grossing modern film. Now, adjusted for inflation, Gone with the Wind is actually the highest grossing film of all time, but whatever. It was Titanic for a while, then it was Avatar, then it was Titanic again, because he re-released it in theaters, and then Avengers Endgame beat him, and then of course his ego couldn't handle that, so then he released it on its anniversary and made Titanic the top again. So what the people don't tell you about that is he relies heavily on funding from the Chinese box office. He is constantly releasing his films in the Chinese market, and that is what inflates his films. I honestly think without the Chinese box office, his movies would still do good. They would still be box office hits, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that would take out a big chunk of it. Here's what I said would happen. So the first Avatar blew all the records out of the water. It greenlit a sequel, which was Way of Water, and that one kind of got caught up in the pandemic nonsense, and then also with the Disney Plus drama, because the production companies were moving and things like that. But then it ends up that one does pretty good. It breaks box office records, of course, but still a little less than the first one. And what I had said was eventually the box office numbers are going to get so watered down that he can't justify going all the way to 5. Now, 3 is going to be a Rorschach test. Avatar, Fire and Ash will be the one that proves me wrong. If this one breaks records like The Way of Water and its predecessor, and again, The Way of Water didn't do as good, I'm talking specifics, as the first Avatar, then this will prove me wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will come back and I will say I was wrong. The box office numbers proved me wrong. But I'm just not interested in watching Ferngully 3. Watch Ferngully: The Last Rainforest, and then watch Avatar right after. They are beat for beat the same plot. Just instead of a smoke cloud of pollution manipulating the humans, it's Papa Dragon, the evil general. He's the smoke cloud in that film. That's my whole take on it. Not excited for it. Don't plan on seeing it, but If you guys want me to see it, if you gals want me to see it, let me know in the comments section below. You made it to the end of the video, leave me a comment. Are you excited for the movie? And if so, tell me why. I'd love to hear your perspective. I won't belittle you if you enjoy it. I just personally didn't enjoy it. And I think the movies are overrated. But if you disagree, you might say they're underrated. You might say they exceeded the hype. That's totally okay. Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. If you liked that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell to get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. Don't forget, you can support me by heading over to my website, studiojakemedia.substack.com. You can subscribe at different tiers that unlock different perks, including being able to pick the topic for the website and also for the vidcast. So that's pretty cool. Thank you in advance. At that same website, there's a conveniently titled Buy My Books section where you can pick up one or all four of my books. There's links all over the place for them, but they're all available on Amazon.com. So pick them up, leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.